We are here today to announce that the Justice Department has secured felony guilty pleas from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, Binance.
Actually, it's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Largest virtual.
Binance.
Binance. And let me be clear. It's Binance.
Binance.
Binance. Council has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads.
Morning everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we have to talk about Bitcoin going up in a really nice way. And the reason for that is also very clear. There's another US state reserve that has been implemented, but it's not all. There is more crypto bullish news coming in here, rolling in. The news are rolling in really nicely, and we are going to look at what exactly is happening, so make sure to stay all the way through here. So, good morning to each and every one of you. How are you doing? Make sure to start the stream off with smashing up the like button. Very important, because it helps this channel to grow, helps to push out the live stream and so on. Otherwise, YouTube thinks that you don't like these live streams if you don't smash the like button, and that would be very sad, because I see you do. And let's look at the chat here. People are excited. Crypto is a little bit green. We are sitting just at 99,000 US dollars for Bitcoin, so going up in a nice way. We are looking first at Mewtwo here. First, GM, my dudes. What a beautiful day to be a rare hodler. Thank you very much for that. And wow, man, thank you all to all the rare hodlers that are supporting me all the time. This is really amazing. And we see also Trucking Hank here, as always. Good morning to you. Also, thank you for being a rare hodler for such a long time. Sven, good morning to you. And Casey Nash with the 299 Australian dollars super reaction, which is the first super. I didn't even know that there is super reaction. Somehow I missed that, but thank you very much for the for the 299 super reaction here. And also Bitcoin had a super reaction yesterday after the Fed meeting. So Fed meeting was this little dump game. Actually, you could put it like this, which you kind of could argue that Bitcoin did move in a bull flag, but then it dumped out here like a classical fake out move from yesterday's Fed press conference, and then it turned around and just pumped, right? And what is that move? Well, that move from the absolute low to where we are is 3.5%, almost 4% to the wick high here. So a really nice move out of Bitcoin, for sure. And if you're holding some Bitcoin, it also looks very good for in the portfolio, right? So why is it happening? Why are the pumps happening? Let's go over it here a little bit. So first of all, this happened. It is really unexpected. Really unexpected. I didn't see that coming. Arizona becomes the second state to pass a strategic Bitcoin reserve bill into law. What? Didn't we just see that Arizona vetoed this? That the Arizona governor did not sign this, did not enact this? Well, what happened then after Arizona governor vetoed it was that New Hampshire just said, fuck that, we are going to do it. And probably, just my guess is that they were looking at, fuck, now we're getting all the heat for rejecting that. We see here, Arizona just showed the country how to turn forgotten assets into a fortress against inflation, said Dennis Porter, CEO and co-founder of Satoshi Action Fund. With HB and so on, lawmakers converted dormant dollars into digital gold without touching the taxpayer's pocket. Right before that, Arizona governor had said in her statement when she did not sign that it is way too early to discuss to play around with taxpayer money on unapproved assets, right? In the middle of U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve signed executive order, in the middle of ETFs that are running since over a year and so on. So now Arizona has turned 180 and just did it. And what this is a US state race for the reserve. And it's not the only one, right? So we have New Hampshire, we have Arizona, but now also Texas has moved forward and basically signed this in Chamber 2. Now only question is, and probably a matter of hours or maybe days, that the Texas governor is signing that one into law, right? And then we have the third one, and then it's becoming a domino effect, right? Where just one after the other falls. Then we have this here, right? NC, what is NC? And I don't even know what NC is. I can't think of it. Probably is something like super obvious, and I'm just looking here at like a stupid guy. But anyway, we will see more of these. But it's not the only reason, right? I mean, it's a reason. It's a big reason for Bitcoin to go up, pump, and it will contribute massively to the supply shock. But just because that has been signed into law doesn't mean that all the funds are allocated there to that. So this will take some time until the first funds are rolling in. I don't know. We will probably have all this monitoring then on how many millions, like it will be then like this: breaking New Hampshire buys 1 million worth of Bitcoin or so, right? So to all these Strategy and Metaplanet and all these companies that are buying all the time, right? And then we had this yesterday. So the Fed holds the rate steady. Big surprise, no surprise. Oh yeah, North Carolina. See, I mean North Carolina. How could I not see that, right? I really have to study these states. But so Fed holds rate steady. Says risk of higher unemployment, higher inflation have risen. All eyes will now turn to Fed Chair Jerome Powell's post-meeting press conference for further clues about the central bank's thinking on monetary policy. Meanwhile, while they are keeping the rate stable, though, they have been buying bonds back, right? Basically injecting 30-40 billion into the market, bringing the rising global M2 in circulation, bringing basically that money in real circulation. And that is what we also see reflected in Bitcoin. We are already basically now in the area to come closer to our previous all-time high. We're challenging 100K already at this moment, getting rejected. And yeah, so it doesn't matter if the rate stays stable or not at the moment. The only thing that matters is the global liquidity expands, right? So US central bank held monetary policy steady, aiming to navigate the effect of the Trump tariffs. The Fed said risks to the labor market and for higher inflation have each risen. Bitcoin remained higher on that session at 96K. Now Bitcoin remains at 98,800, okay? But important here, it's referring to the Trump tariffs, but also that is only a matter of time, as it seems, because here we see, for example, this post from Trump: big news conference tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. The Oval Office concerning major trade deal with representatives of a big and highly respected country, the first of many. Okay, so they are going to basically market what they are achieving towards the others, that will push more countries to sit at the negotiation table. And that resolves what has been said here, aiming to the negative effects. Then one by one, the negative effects will turn into a positive trade deal effect, and that then will likely push the market higher as the market's uncertainties are going away. As we see it here, right? Uncertainty about the economic outlook has increased further, said the Fed in its accompanying statement. The committee is attentive to the risk to both sides of its dual mandate and judges that the risk of higher unemployment, higher inflation have risen. Yeah, very interesting here, in my opinion. By the way, we have over 20 people already here, so make sure to smash up the like button here. Very important as we continue to go through the news. Also, this one, just a friendly reminder, the debt curve, right? Hockey stick, from textbook hockey stick. The US took 220 years to reach 1 trillion in debt, and then just 44 years to hit 36 trillion. Nothing will stop the strain. Prepare accordingly. You know what the preparation is, right? We have to protect ourselves against the debasement, and that one of the best protections is Bitcoin. You could also argue stonks, right? I don't know. I don't know if you own stonks or not, but stonks are a little bit different, right? Yeah, maybe a mix of both. Who knows, right? But from a compound annual growth rate, that's one thing. Then another bill has passed. It's a lot of crypto legislation and so on. Oregon update, SB 167, signed into law, updating the Uniform Commercial Code to clarify digital assets as collateral. So basically, you could it eases up that you can borrow against Bitcoin or against other cryptocurrencies if then there is such a site. I think that's really great, because then, I mean, let's just say, and this is a real situation, right? Let's just say you're a little bit older, you have Bitcoin, but you don't get a loan at the bank, right? But you could technically use your Bitcoin and borrow against that, right? So to get a loan, but you don't want to sell your Bitcoin, you want to keep it, right? So stuff like that is really important in the future. Like I think, and that's really where decentralized finance and so on is probably going to take over, or at least crypto finance, let's put it that way, centralized or not. But crypto finance probably takes over at that time, and then you can just seamlessly borrow against your crypto assets. Also here, going to that, another one, the the OCC clarifies national banks can buy and sell crypto assets at customers' direction and outsource custody and execution services to third parties with proper risk management. So probably, and I'm just interpreting here because I don't think, I'm not sure what other cases are also included in this, but basically banks can now fully participate in crypto markets. Banks can use third-party providers for cold storage, for I don't know, transfers, they can use smart contracts on other platforms and so on. So as it seems to be the openness of how this is phrased, I think they can basically do everything. Like they can do everything in the crypto market. They are now fully enabled to participate, and obviously that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. Then it only depends on the end customer how much they like it. If you're hardcore crypto, then obviously there's no question that self-custody is the way, but not everyone wants that, and not everyone can deal with that. So yeah, that's basically it. So this is the news for today, right? And it's a lot of good news, And by the way, Green Lantern, good morning, boys. Good to see you, Green Lantern. It's some time that we had going to the gym, this and that speech from Green Lantern here. Um, so he seems to be very busy, very busy. But Patrick, also good morning. Mr. K, good morning to you. The altcoin market very much in the green. We see EOS leading the charge with 21.2%. We have IMX, PP, and so on. Bitcoin Cash sitting at around 10%. STX is up 10%, 11.8 to be precise. Pango is up. Everything's up. Like, what's the average here? 4.4% average, 4.8% average here. Who's pumping? Mock is pumping. Mock coin. Then Kaito also. Safe is up in a big way. Aero is up. SPX is up, and so on. So, yeah, there's a couple of things. Also, Arweave, which I like a lot. Bread is up 4.1%, 14.1%. What is that? Solaya, okay, is a little bit down, but we see everything's up roughly 4%. Here are two brackets which are not up that much, but yeah, what is going on here? Alpaca is pumping 90%. So there is life in the altcoins. It's just a matter of inflows or outflows in crypto, right? STPT 20%, Drift 16%. You can see it here. So many altcoins. ETHFi that are here. GigaChat is up 8.5%. So a lot of things are on the move in the green. And we see that USDT is a little bit is flowing into the market. So you see it here, like you see this little blip and just bam, the market is green, right? And it's it's like on this daily. I mean, if you see it here, it's quite some resistance, right? So it would be good, or it's quite some support if you want. So it would be good if we'd lose that and just allocate some billions into crypto here. That's for sure. On the monthly, we see it a little bit better, what we are expecting to happen. So it seems that we are still in very much in a downtrend, right? For USDT dominance, meaning USDT sitting there waiting to be allocated to the market. You could also turn this around and say, if this goes up, right, then it's good. If this was an altcoin, I would be so extremely bullish on this formation, right? I mean, what the heck? You basically have this ascending triangle where you are bam, 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 waiting for the breakout, right? So this is what is likely going to happen here for USDT dominance. Going lower depends on we also see it here, right? Stochastic RSI cross, looming, imminent. It's a couple of, this is a monthly chart. It's a question of months, right? 1 or 2 months, obviously. But I think that could be something. The last time that we had such a cross, we came all the way down to this resistance and then we had a bull cross again. Now this time we're starting out lower. If we get that cross, maybe we are even capable of losing that support and going really, really, really hard into our last leg of the bull run. We are just waiting for that. Total 3 update. How is it looking? We are, 1 second. Yeah, there we go. We are looking at this bounce, and we have continuation. So altcoins trying to bounce here. The last times that we bounced was 140% move out of the altcoins, and then here 140% move. So maybe we can get another 140% move out of this, and that would bring us to a new all-time high in the altcoin space. Total 3, 1.6 trillion Will it happen? We will see. It requires the other factors to go hard, to go ham. And but we are expecting the altcoins to do well once Bitcoin dominance stops finally pumping, but there's still room. I mean, there's still room for a big fat Bitcoin rally, which sucks out even more liquidity out of the altcoins. So even though that we sometimes have reactions here out of the altcoins, we'll see. Green Lantern says, was down, food poisoning got me. Oh shit, man, hope you're well. That's not good. Definitely no gym time then. Yeah, get well soon. So we see it, we have 65.1% here on the lower time frames. We see also that Bitcoin dominance has been going down today, just a little bit, after a massive rise. And that little bit, you have to imagine that little blip that you can't even see on the weekly, you can't even see it, has this effect. Or this is the effect of altcoins on on the Bitcoin dominance right now. Okay, so imagine what happens if where is it? Oh man, there. Yeah, sorry for that. Imagine what happens if you do not only this, but if you really go like waterfall, right? If you go crazy like this, right? I mean, it's unimaginable, unfathomable, but maybe we're going to just rise and then drop, right? And that would just, if we just rise in this diagonal, we would come out exactly September the 1st. And you know what that is? September the 1st, or let's say September the 2nd, doesn't matter, just for purpose. That's exactly where the 500-day rule tells us that Bitcoin tops out, okay? So, oops, that is the 2 month, we want the 1 month. So that would be, here we have marked the 1st of September here also as the point where 500 days after the halving, you know, that like, let's say simplified rule where you buy 500 days before the halving and buy 500 days after the halving, and more or less you're doing a very, very good trade ratio based on the past, right? And we have all the halvings here, right? Actually, these halvings seem to be, I think I have moved something by accident or so. One of these halvings seems to be off. I have to correct that later on. But bottom line is that we are coming closer to that point, and we are expecting, and this is also on the monthly, we just have a continuation of the bounce until now, right? A nice green candle already approaching the all-time high, and the monthly close last time was at 102,000. So it would be good if we could close the May beyond 100K, and then really go into full pump mode, right? And I think that is really, things are coming together nicely. Global liquidity is on the rise. Global liquidity global liquidity front run of 12 weeks, or 10 or 12 weeks, right? 2.5 months, tells us that from now May, let's say it's mid of May, so then a half a month, that would be June, and then 2 months, that would be August, right? So we expect liquidity to expand, front run, and Bitcoin follow. We just started following. We have covered it here many, many times on the channel, and we are confident that we are just going to go up, maybe not every day, but over time, until into August, maybe September, right? Into our top at least. And then we will see how much of a lengthening we have because of this global liquidity just not coming until we're right now. So we will see how this influences our bull run, if we are running more than September, maybe October also, maybe November also, maybe we're just topping out like always. Also here, right, we took a breather and then we ran again, right? What was that here? November 21. And that top, December 17, and that top November 13, right? So could we just see us just repeating this like clockwork again and top out November 2025 to December 20, somewhere there? Absolutely possible in my opinion. By the way, how is our bull cross doing? We are looking to, the cross is basically there. We are touching, yeah? The lines are touching on the stochastic RSI. On the monthly, this is a major bullish signal. It usually, in the last, all of the last signals had about an 80% pump as a result, which would be bringing us to about 180k, right? If that was just repeating percentage-wise. Absolutely amazing what's happening here. And the best thing about it all, the entire market is bearish. Look at crypto, I mean, not on Bitcoin necessarily, but everything else like altcoins, NFTs, you look at VV, you look at whatever, everything's bearish, yeah? Everyone thinks they found now the new formula of this time is different. And I'm going to address this also with regards to altcoins because there are some wild theories out there, and I'm going to make a video about this, maybe even a nature walk, right? About this time's different, no altcoin season, and so on. And I just don't see it, to be honest, right? I just don't see why. I still can't wrap my head around the why. I think it's just a theory that expresses the collective fear of the mass that all the altcoin investment will never do any returns, and this time's different, Bitcoin only, and I can't imagine that this space suddenly is not degenerate anymore, and that this space is, we have seen it just a couple of months ago in meme coins, right? People literally were buying coins that they knew were rug pulls. They were still gambling on it to make returns. No one can tell me that these people are not willing to try their luck in the regular altcoins once more if there's only a single sign of life. And what other sign of life do you need than whatever shitcoin that people buy do a 90%er just like where was it here? Yeah, or alpaca now 43%. I don't know what happened, but anyways, right? I mean, and this is nothing, right? If there's a real hardcore altcoin run, we'll see way more. We will see way more than this. Then this is a joke. Then this is going to be like the worst performer on the day, you know? And it is starting all with 5% here, 10% there, 20% here, and then booms, right? Banana zone up. If Bitcoin explodes, then an altcoin season will happen automatically because money goes from BTC to the altcoins, not unless a global recession hits instantly after the BTC top, we get max fear. Yes, Mewtwo, I think that's as close as you can get to it. But one thing, we have been in a global recession since years already. Just no one wanted to tell or call it like that. Remember, I think it's already 2 years ago when basically stock market and other analysts said, hey, we have 2 negative quarters back to back, that's textbook recession. And then they changed the definition. They just said, yeah, but this time is different. This time is not the recession. Yeah, and that was a global liquidity contraction. Companies were really not doing well. We even had some banks collapsing, remember? Credit Suisse went out of business, was sold to UBS. Stock market holders or stock holders of Credit Suisse got basically disowned. Yeah, we had all of that. I mean, you look at like Germany, third biggest economy in the world, has no GDP growth since 4 years. If that's not a recession, I don't know what is, right? And you have to see, sideways for 4 years is net negative. Why? Because GDP should, even at zero growth, GDP has to go up if there's inflation, right? So a GDP that only goes up with inflation is net sideways. There's no real growth. It's only number growth by inflation, right? So Germany moving sideways for 4 years, third biggest economy in the world, means net negative for 4 straight years. That's insane, right? So yeah, the US, I don't know, but also like US inflation against US net GDP growth or so, you can calculate if you had growth the last 4 years or not. Like, look at Japan. Japan was the third before. Even though Germany basically did nothing, Japan went to place 4, basically telling that Japan probably underperformed so much that they lost a rank in the world economies and so on. Only my personal take, but I'd say we had a big recession before. We're now going to pump the economy for, I don't know how long we can do it. And then, yes, and then I think something will break as always. And then, yes, what Mewtwo says, we're going to into max fear, a mega crash, whatever, right? But I'm not going to be here as a crash prophet. I'm just trying to go against this mass fear of no altcoin season and so on, and discussing that. What about the S&P 500 and Dow Jones Index? They don't reflect that. Like the Great Recession and the tech boom. What do they not reflect? The recession. Yeah. Let's pull it up. You're right. I mean, they don't reflect it, but is that a consequence of extensive money printing, or what is it? I don't know. Let's pull it up. Which chart can we destroy? It's a very very important S&P 500. There we go. It's not loading. Why? I don't know. Okay. Let's just go here. Open this. Come on. Full chart. But it's a, yeah. I don't know, man. That's I mean, this is more short term, right? This is the last month, but that's a 20%. It's a very sharp one, but I mean, here 21 was 25%. So is that much different? It just happened in quicker time. But you're right. We had all this, but this is the first recession bump, in my opinion, right? And it took us look, it took us until here 762 days to get to the same level again. That's more than 2 years than from December 21, right? So, and this is the period that I'm talking about. Yeah. This is the period that I'm talking about, right? When I say we have been in a recession the last 4 years, that's exactly 21 until now, 25. And now we have been our wick of this crash in S&P 500 went back to this level. It went back to this level. So we basically, after 4 years, we went back all the way to that level again, which took us 760 days to come back to. How is this even good? I mean, overall, if you bought stonks here, S&P 500, you made an 18% return until today. Let's do it again. Let's just say you bought the top here until today, and we don't even calculate the wick, right? We calculate really where we are today. 17.72% in sorry, that's the time calculation is off here, in 1,247 days. 18%, 17.72%. If you take 8% hidden inflation, which is more or less maybe 10, you are net negative on that investment. Let's say it's 18%. 18%. We had 8% inflation in these years, even official numbers, right? I mean, some products literally did a double or a triple in price. You're basically down on your investment. It would have been even better to hold, I don't know, gold or... So maybe that's just me trying to justify what I just said, but I literally cannot see this as something... Yes, we are up. We're not down. But I would argue that because of this, right? I discussed this also before. Something happened around here especially in the last 25 years, where every crisis that we gets printed away before it really can come into effect. Because of that, until we see a maximum entire system crash, I don't see how recessions can lead to massively lower index prices, right? Recessions can do this, like they can cause crashes like this, right? This is the C crisis crash, which is a 35% crash, a little bit more. Here 25% and here 21%. The moment that you reach these levels, the money printer already comes in. And then you have this effect, right? And, well, the question is now, are we just go from here based on global liquidity on another run that takes years? I don't know. No idea. Can't tell you. Maybe the rest of the year. But what people expect... what people expect is this, right? Or what people always talk about. I'll tell you. They take this chart with these two bumps and they overlay it with the Great Depression chart of 19, I don't know what. And at every of these spikes, here and here and here, every time they say this time is where the global recession and globally, the global depression chart looks more or less like this, right? More or less. And they are comparing each situation. So here also, I remember that when this happened, they drew exactly this in, right? This was their predictions going to happen. And what actually happened is this, what you see here, right? Maybe let me pull that up to make it really real for you or clear for you. Yeah, let's take this here. Global depression. What was it? 1928 chart. Where is it? Where is this chart? I don't know. Is it that one? Yeah, here, right? And also like scary parallel, this and that period, right? And you see it, right? The global depression right here with this bump and then bump really low, and then current period, but current period was 2014. Okay, so 2014 this was overlaid, and then 2021 this was overlaid. And I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's like the broken clock paradigm, right? Where you are just say crash, and one time you're right, and then you can write a book how you predicted the big crash and so on. And there are a couple of people that actually speculate on that, where they always talk about the crash. And I'm not saying that you are one of those, Mewtwo. Not saying that at all. I think it's a very, very interesting discussion. Also, if you put the Fed funds rate in here and so on. But I think that, especially here, right, since 2009, maybe since year before. Oh, by the way, we did. This is, by the way, when the red lines are when the Fed started to cut again after a pause, right? And this could be interesting to your theory, Mewtwo. We are now in the pause, and the Fed doesn't want to cut. So the question is, will we have this bull run extending until the Fed cuts? Let's put Fed fund rate indicator. Is it that one? Yeah, there we go, right? Oh, actually, it's not after the pause. It's when the Fed starts cutting, right? And also, we now have it here as well, right? Here the Fed started cutting, and here is our blip already. So you see it here, right? Fed cuts, bam, 50%. Fed cuts, boom, 50% down. Fed cuts, boom, 25%. A little bit higher than 25%. So here also we had the Fed cut, boom, 21%. But is it over now? Question mark, right? Or is it just the beginning of something like that? Fed indicator here. So the macro is much, much more important right now than anything else. Thank you for the insightful take on the global economy. Nice pointers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Love you, PH. Thank you for sharing your reports and findings. Thank you. Pukal Jotric. Pukal Jotric. You changed your name. I know that. Trying to say it in the right manner. Okay, let's talk a little bit Ecomi and Vivi. Where is it? Where's my Ecomi and Vivi stuff here? Ah, there we go. The Vivi Meister, this is not real, right? Before you say it, but Ben Rose did not say anything anymore. So someone, he made this with AI. Yeah. And I don't know, but yeah, gotta get your speculation on Ben. Certainly something is going on. Speculation is summer vacation. That would be the best of all theories. It's not normal for a CEO to get hired only to leave after 5 months. Is that confirmed now with the leave? Because I didn't see anything of that. But someone then made this. And obviously, yes, that's not normal. It's pretty funny, to be honest. Let's see, but let's pull up Ben Rose's Twitter. Is this confirmed? No, he didn't. The problem here is he didn't post at all, right? I mean, he didn't post at all, not even for something else or so. Usually, if you're leaving the company, you post like Mitch did. Hey, this was a great time, this and that, blah blah, right? Leaving after 5 months would absolutely not be normal. But what would be normal is taking 2 weeks off and leave it with the other CEOs, right? But then you also could quickly post that as Vivi. Hey, there's speculation about our CEO, not true, right? Why is there no communication from Vivi then? I mean, everyone is on edge. Everyone is scared about... I mean, we're still in a phase where crypto companies are dying because they run out of funds, right? So everyone's scared, obviously, that something doesn't work out. And everyone, I think people really love Ben Rose, right? As a VVCO. People see that he is a good one, like a good guy, that he's capable. And so people want to... they want him to stay and turn the ship around, right? And so it would be really a hit if Ben Rose was out, right? However, do we have any replies? Was the last reply? No reply. So this here was retweeted So this is 2 weeks. This post is 2 weeks ago. I don't know. You can't really see when someone did the retweet, but probably same day. So this is now 15 days ago. Much longer radio silence should not be, because then I would also say something is off. What I could say is, hey, if you are a co-CEO and you go on vacation, that's fine. 2 weeks. Maybe you need to just post an AR photo of a VV logo at the beach, just to not have speculations going on. It's too long, right? It's too long without a message. I'll be watching closely next week. Fairly big red flag IMO. He ups and leaves. If he ups and leaves, yeah, that would be then the question is why? Because basically that's like not passing your probation phase, right? Mitch, understandable, but also not ideal. Great companies don't have high turnover. But also in tech sector, also you always see that. The question is also, would you, like, the question is, so there are many reasons, right? Let's just say VV keeps finances low and doesn't increase salaries. That could be a reason for people to just go to the next one that just pays better, which is understandable in this market environment. But yeah, would not be a good one. Then Ben Rose leaving would be really weird, especially because of this, right? Look at this. This was only 17 days ago. Here retweeting, the digital collectibles market is expected to grow and so on, right? Crypto news interview. So him doing the interviews here for on behalf of Vivi. If he has left end of April, why would he end of April still represent Vivi in these interviews, right? Yeah, that doesn't make sense, right? I love all this negativity right before Grogu in Prime drops. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we can get one without having to fear. Grogu in Prime is the secret grail of VV. I'm definitely going for it. Yeah. Grogu in Prime is going to be my favorite collectible on the app, probably. Yeah, but anyways, that is this. So, Mr. Ben Rose, if you hear that, if you watch, like, probably he's just at the beach watching Patient Hodler talking about macro, and suddenly he's like, oh shit, I have to go back to work. So then, please, first, Mr. Ben Rose, first thing, please report in. Secondly, come on this channel and talk about it. Yeah. We have VV Comics only raking in $946 on the like the new drops, right? $946 on the last 7 days, which is very low. Someone's buying that. Let's scan the VV content here a little bit. Someone is stacking addiction logos for Mint 41, Mint 50, and so on. Co-CEO for VV, official, MIA, and I'm out here making sure I view 5 showrooms for their challenge. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah. Where is he? Where is he? Danny Boy got hacked. Yes, I did get hacked. Didn't realize for so long as not really on here much. That said, seeking specifics on infamous VV gem exploit and so on. Where's Benaldo? That's actually fucking funny. I think Ben doesn't want to please everybody by responding. Yeah, the problem is that it could even impact VV sales, because if people are fearful that VV has a problem, a major problem, they obviously are not going to drop money in. So that's why Benaldo has the topics. Where's Benaldo? So Omili is like talking about this here. Meanwhile, Lomin Mink is just flexing his golden moments mega collection. Quick look at Vivi affiliate progress for 4 weeks. Successfully shared my affiliate link with offshore crew. 57 clicks, 123 sales amount. Interesting, right? I didn't even do that. I have to do that. Wonder how those big influence part of phase 2 of affiliate program is coming to Vivi. Interesting, right? They didn't. In Spaces earlier today, MC and other employees had a really easy opportunity to just say, guys, chill, Ben is here. But they didn't. Yeah, exactly. Why? Why are you not doing? Why are you not reporting in what's happening? So something is off. I don't know. They could also say, hey, he is like severely sick or something like that, or he has to deal with private matters. Everyone would understand that, but they also didn't say that. So yeah, that's a little bit concerning, right? I mean, what's the explanation then? Do they, or you could, this could be also one thing. He could be renegotiating his contract, and they are in contract negotiation with him, and he wants more salary, and they are negotiating. And since until then, he's just not saying anything, right? I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Philippe says, I don't think Vivi is necessarily doing well either. There's just Randy out there talking about grosses, but not factoring in costs. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is also, we had one Star Wars drop that was grossing, what is it, $90,000. And probably in such environments, companies will cut down their costs. And if before Ecomi and Vivi dies, probably they would get rid of the co-CEO, or right, not increase salaries, let some people go. That could be happening, right? I mean, that's really, that would be, but that would also underline the fears of the people that are here worried about that Vivi could go out of business, right? And maybe that's also the reason why the app is not running smoothly and so on, because it's just no real progress, because you can't finance that progress anymore. So they might have to fly lower until liquidity comes back and they can put a banger license on there as well. I mean, besides all the Star Wars and so on. So, and then we have mint bounties here. I think that these this Star Wars drop is probably going to gross a little bit more for them, even than the troopers. Yeah, Dan also says Randy cannot be taken seriously. Nice guy, but extremely unobjective takes. Absolutely. I mean, the way that, and I also don't mean it in a mean way. It's just the investment, the amount of investment that he has. I would also not be very objective with that, to be honest, right? Because you can't afford this to go out of business, right? And I think from flying on a lower level with your cost, like reducing your bottom line, to going out of business is still two big worlds, right? But yeah. So Mandalorian drop, we're hunting for mint 2019, the year where the show begins. And the Comics and Crypto Crew, they put out a bounty for $2019 for the 2019 mint. So we're going to do the drop stream on Saturday together. We're going for Grogu and Pram, but then maybe we're also going to go for normal Grogu and try to hit one of the significant Star Wars mints. Yeah. Dan also says, I've lost a good bit on Omi myself. I mean, that's and this is really where I say this is part of this is part of the risk profile in crypto, right? You you tried something with Omi, right? And it could have gone either way. We're somewhere in between, from like it makes you a degenerate millionaire, which happened for some people, right? To it's a rug pull and you are out of business. We're somewhere in between, right? We're somewhere in between, and in the sense that the risk turned into a 90% or so, right? Return on investment if you bought somewhere in this hype phase 4 years ago. And we could be already where Vivi is dead and out of business and everything went to zero. And we could have been somewhere where no NFT project is right now, where everything's like way up, and you just sell your collection and buy a mega yacht, right? So that's the risk profile. And I know, Dan, you are experienced, you know that, but maybe not everyone who watches this. And it will be the same for Pengu. It will be the same for others. Just that Pengu is new shiny stuff right now, but it will be the same over and over again until people understand the game. And also for me, it will be a massive learning. I don't know what the end result will be, but I know that I have learned a lot. Like I've learned a lot in the space, from dealing with risky assets to what you can and cannot take seriously from companies and so on, right? Learned a lot, and I'm grateful for that, right? And some of this, no matter how big this loss is in the end, or the win, it's absolutely worth it, in my opinion, at the moment, because I didn't overextend, right? To take this lesson with me. This is also why I continue to report on this and not shut down my channel or something like that, because I want to complete this journey, right? And even share, okay, let's just say Vivi dies in 6 months. They file bankruptcy and dies. Then we'll wrap it up here, take the L on the channel, see which lessons we learned, and maybe then throughout the next 4 or 8 years we're going to be way better investors, right? Who knows? Or Vivi doesn't die and we are riding the wave, which is what I'm betting on, riding the next wave in an evolved digital collectible space, right? But Vivi is still there, and they are dropping Star Wars. Let's not forget that. Vivi's right now, they're still there and dropping Star Wars. Maybe their co-CEO is not there anymore. We don't know, right? Still, I would say there is still a chance that they can get their shit together once liquidity is flowing again and evolve into the next phase, right? Or maybe there's another chance, right? There's another chance. They see the business is great, the licenses are awesome, but they see they need something for the next level. They need an investor. So they could sell Vivi to a company that takes it to the next level. This happens with many startups, with many companies that at some point they are just unable to maneuver to scale and to bring it to the next level. Maybe their licensors even want that. So they could sell Vivi to, I don't know, Animoca brands. I don't know, right? I'm just throwing a name in here. Yeah? They could be maybe even already in the talks to that. And this is not necessarily a bad thing, right? It's just going to the next level then. Because they can prove what in a bull run what the cash cow this is, right? Or they're just laying low and then they are going with a VC or whatever in the next round. I mean, it's a bootstrap business, so they are not dependent, not burning through this VC money and so on. So there are so many scenarios that could be happening. I just don't have a crystal ball. All I know is they have great brands. They did a shitload of money in the last bull run where they should have still something left over of war chest. And now we are very, very close to liquidity coming back. Maybe we already see it. I mean, the Stormtrooper drop did gross okay-ish. Maybe these Star Wars drops will help them to prolong and to get in these waters. But that's it. Very good take. Thank you very much. We want the narrative. Yeah, exactly. But anyways, that's all I got for today. Guys, make sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel here, very important, notifications on so that you don't miss the drop streams, the Freaky Friday stream tomorrow, and so on. Bully Assassin says, good morning PH, what is your price prediction for VeChain? I'd say we go back to 8 cents once altcoins recover, and then from there we pump to 20 cents, and then we'll see. But something like that for VeChain, I would say. I still hold my VeChain bag, roughly 100k VeChain. Alan Thompson, thanks PH. Thank you all for being here. Thank you Dan all for the discussion. Thank you to my rare hodlers, Mewtwo, Trucking Inc., Felipe, Bodo, Green Lantern, get well soon, Green Lantern, and thank you for Casey Nash for the super reaction, or what that was. I've never seen that before. What is it? Yeah, super reaction. First super reaction in the live stream. Thank you so much for that. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I catch you in the next video or live.